Hey guys, Adam here, and today I want to share with you one of the most effective ways to immediately change your business for the better. I'm talking about a marketing strategy that'll grow your business, allow you to become a recognized name in your industry, and dominate your competition. It's worked for me, it's worked for my clients, and it's worked for those I've taught it to. And I know it can work for you too. So let's get to it. All right, so let's get right to it. The strategy that I'm talking about is content marketing. Now, before you say,
Adam, I already know about content marketing. Give me something new.
Well, let me just say that there's a huge difference between knowing about something and knowing how to actually use it in your business to go out there and make it work for you to get real results. You see, while most business owners, entrepreneurs, and marketers know about the term content marketing, most still aren't doing it, or if they are doing it, they're doing it wrong, which means making a ton of completely avoidable mistakes and wasting time and money and energy by putting all this effort into creating content that nobody wants. Nobody sees. So let me share with you a better and more strategic way to do content marketing. And that all starts with understanding the difference between creation and distribution. When it comes to talking about content marketing and using it to grow your business, to generate more leads, to build rapport and trust with your audience, well, there's two separate parts, the creation part and the distribution part. Each are important. First is the content creation part, which is the part where you create the content. But of course, there is a way to actually do this right so it delivers the results you're looking for and actually grows your business. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But the other part is the often ignored younger brother. Distribution. The distribution part is incredibly important and way too often overlooked. And the reason it's so important is because if nobody sees your content, or hears your content, or reads your content, or consumes your content, then it doesn't matter how good your content really is. A saying that I use all the time in business is nobody can buy from you if they don't know you exist. And the same saying can be translated directly over to your content. Nobody knows how great your content is if they never find it or never get to consume it. This is actually an extension and a massive pet peeve of mine and another myth in marketing, which is the build it and they will come myth. This myth simply says that all you need to do is create stuff and make it really good and people will find it. But that's not the case. You see, as fair or unfair as this is, it's not the best businesses or the best products or the best services or the best content that wins. It's the businesses and the products and the services and the content with the best marketing. This is why you need to spend a considerable and maybe even equal amount of time on the distribution part of your content marketing strategy, essentially thinking through how are you going to get people to actually see your stuff. Email, of course, is a great way to do this, which leads me perfectly to this video's sponsor, SigParser. If you're trying to build an email marketing list, you've probably overlooked one of the most valuable resources you have, which are the contacts already in your email inbox. This is where SigParser helps. You probably already know hundreds, if not thousands of people, and we're in contact with them through email at some point in time. SigParser makes it easy to get a list of all the people you know by using AI to mine your email communication for all your contacts and contact details like name, title, phone numbers, and more. They dedupe the data, and then you can download the list or integrate it directly with your favorite apps. The best part is their free trial, where they let you mine 90 days of your email data and then export a list of your contacts. To check out their service, just go to sigparser.com and click try for free. I'll also make sure to put a link in the description box below. All right, let's talk about content creation, and then we'll circle back at the end for some more distribution strategies. The first and most important piece of advice I could ever hope to give you when it comes to content marketing and content creation is really to just do it. Make content, then share it, then make more content, then share it again, then make more content. And while if you've been following me for any length of time, then you know I am not a strong proponent of the do everything, be everywhere approach. That said, when you have selected and targeted where your ideal target market is active and present online, well, I'm a big fan of doubling down there and creating even more valuable content to better connect and engage and serve them. The reality is that both your audience and your customers and your clients or whoever it is that you're trying to serve, as well as the social media algorithms themselves, they're always hungry for more content. If you're currently posting once a month, well, try upping that to once a week. If you're on the once a week plan, well, try once a day. Once a day? Why not try 2 times a day? Maybe even 3 times. Maybe even 10, depending on what channel we're talking about. Now, obviously, this is going to be influenced and directly related to which platform we're talking about. After all, dropping 10 tweets a day is nothing too hard, but trying to create 10 YouTube videos a day, well, that would be bananas. The point, though, is that you need to make more, because when you do, it's going to increase the frequency and the touch points that you're able to appear in front of your ideal target market. And because more touch points means more trust and more opportunities for your market and for your customers to buy, well, the better your business will will do. This is a pretty easy concept to accept though, right? I mean, given the choice between a business that's creating a lot of content, making a lot of touch points, and showing up again and again and again in front of their target market versus someone who's staying silent and hiding in the corner and not doing anything, well, can you guess which one's gonna win? Now, fortunately, when it does come to creating more content, you've got a couple of different options to find the style and the tone and the channel and the format that works best for you and best for your market and best for your own unique personalities and goals and basically what you're good at. The first content choice and the direction that I'd really like to push you in, simply because it's just so darn effective, is video. See, it's no secret that video is one of the single most effective and most persuasive forms of marketing available to you, next to being in person or doing face-to-face communication. This is because video captures much of the face-to-face interaction components, the ability to see someone and to hear someone and to sort of sense and judge their body language. Plus, no matter what study or statistic you look at, well, the evidence is pretty clear. People are consuming a ton of video content, and the social media algorithms are favoring and prioritizing and showing more video than almost every other kind of content. And we're not just talking about YouTube here, which is obviously a video dominant platform, but also Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. Video simply gets shown more often than non-video content, whether text or graphics. Now, I do appreciate that getting started with and creating video content can be a little tricky and a little overwhelming to just get started, but that's okay. You can start small. In fact, if you've got a cell phone, you pretty much have all you need. All you really need to do is hit that record button and go for it. You can create short stories for Instagram or even for Facebook. If you're feeling braver, you can try to go live on Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube. Instagram also now has Reels, which is kind of their version of TikTok. So if you want to create kind of a little more polished and a little more fun versions of those videos, well, you've got that too. You could even go nuts and hire a videographer to come in and shoot all kinds of different videos for you. But don't feel like you have to. And in fact, sometimes that may not even work as well as just being real and raw and authentic and going live from your phone. Now, of course, as great and as important as I think video is, obviously a strategy I use myself as well as the main one that I push most of my clients towards, well, maybe it's not your thing, in which case you can take a look at podcasting. Podcasting allows you to take advantage of the audio component and is another long form content medium, meaning people tend to listen to podcasts for a heck of a lot longer than they scroll through social media or read a tweet or anything like that. This longer form media allows you more opportunities to get that share of ear and essentially build more trust, tell more stories, and better connect and engage than again you would through those bite-sized scrollable pieces of content. But of course, let's say you don't want to do podcasting either, whether starting your own or trying to get booked as a guest on different podcasts. That's okay. You still have text-based content, which, despite what some of the experts and gurus and pundits will tell you, text-based content is still just as relevant and just as effective today. Sure, you may not get quite the same reach and quite the same full level of effectiveness as you would with video marketing, but it still works. And if you hate video, I'm not gonna make you do it. I mean, I'm gonna push you to do it, strongly encourage you to do it, do everything in my power to get you to do it, but it's ultimately up to you. All right, now before we move on to distribution, there's one final very important note we need to make about content creation, which is a piece or an element of every single piece of content you create that must be included, and that is a call to action, or CTA. A call to action, or CTA, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a call to get someone to take action. Essentially some kind of prompt or question or suggestion you make at the end of whatever piece of content you're creating. Maybe it's to check out another piece of content. Maybe it's to give you a call. Maybe it's just to stop, think, and ponder the gravity and importance of the wisdom you've just bestowed upon them. Whatever it is though, you need to give them something else to do. Do it! All right, so now let's talk about distribution. So you've created your content and now you're sitting there staring at this blog or podcast or video, and you have no idea what to do with it. Well, the very first thing you need to understand is that some forms of content have a discoverability element baked right into them. So you need to prioritize and strategize for this before you even start creating content. That sounds a little confusing, so let me explain. Basically, some kinds of content that you can create, well, they can have elements that are going to help them get discovered and get found, really put right into them and designed and again, baked into them right from the very beginning planning stages of your content creation process. That's still kind of confusing. So let me give you some examples. Basically, if you think about a blog post, well, of course you could just naturally go out there and write the blog post and then try to share it through some of the ways we're going to talk about. But you could also bake in elements of SEO or search engine optimization, which would give it a higher likelihood of being found through different search engines for some of the keywords and some of the formatting and the ways that you design the blog post right from the very beginning. The same thing happens with a YouTube video. In fact, before creating any YouTube video, I pretty much always do some research into the target market, into the questions, into the style and the format, as well as the keywords and the topics and the titles and the thumbnail and how everything gets positioned before I even think about recording. For other platforms though, let's say Instagram, well, you still don't want to be random. Rather, you want to design your content and start finding ways to include relevant hashtags, which again will help with discoverability, getting it found by more people. There's other things you can do as well though, like starting to produce more stories, starting to go live, starting to increase your frequency, and starting to engage with everybody who engages with your content by responding to them in the comments or by sending them a direct message. All of these will help your current and your future content by boosting your position in the algorithm, showing that you're there to play or work, that you're there to work and play. LinkedIn, at least at the time of this recording on the other hand, has still pretty decent organic reach, meaning as long as you're putting out somewhat valuable content, probably going to get seen by a decent number of people. Podcasts, on the other hand, are a little trickier. It's one of the other reasons that I prefer using a YouTube strategy first and leveraging that or backing it up with a podcast. Namely, the fact that podcasts don't have a ton of options and a ton of opportunities baked into them for discoverability. I mean, sure, you can include relevant titles and you should make them engaging and catchy so people actually want to click and listen to them, but their search functionality still isn't amazing, and the ability to be discovered is largely going to come down to your ability to promote your podcast to your existing audience, whether on other social media channels or through your email list. In fact, an email list is probably your single most valuable asset and resource when it comes to promoting your content and making sure it actually gets seen by the people you want to see it. This is why the next thing you're going to want to do is check out the video I have linked up right here on email marketing secrets. So make sure to check that out now, and I'll see you in the next episode. So why is email marketing just so effective at acquiring customers? Well, it really boils down to a couple different things. The first and most important is the fact that it's accessible by pretty much every single